All right. This thing says I'm live, so let's see what we've got. This is really. I just want to point out quite quickly. This is a test, so I'm not going to be sticking around for terribly long. I just want to get a feel for whether or not everything can be seen on stream here, and if I can just look around quite quickly to see the chat. This is. Hey, man! Templar Knight. Hi, buddy. Yeah, the idea here is that this will be a little less formal than the, how I paint things videos. Quite regularly, people have asked about streaming and stuff like that, and I've wanted to give it a go for a while. So, yeah, really just good nails. Moisturize. It is freezing at the moment, depending on where you are in the world. So, fellas, don't be afraid to moisturize. Look after your skin. See, little tidbits like that. That's going to be the bonus to coming to a stream rather than the videos themselves, because I quite strenuously edit the videos. You'll notice that sort of the chattiness in them is a little diminished from when I first started. So these will be an opportunity to just kind of hang out and chat. Yeah, eccentric man looking good position. Yeah, I think this works quite well. This feels natural where I'm holding the miniature. The lighting is not too bad. I think I can probably fool with that a little bit more. But let's go ahead and try and paint something. Now I'm going to cheat. I say cheat. I've got my contrast. The idea, of course, just getting a look at the stream. Negative test. Congrats on negative test. Yeah, I don't have COVID. Hooray! I was lucky enough that we got to go through a little drive-through test center, and rather than the big swab that they stir the back of your brain with, I just got a little tickle at the back of the throat. So I'm quite happy with that. Now, I hope you can't hear my neighbors. That's another thing that I won't be able to edit with these videos. And I'm guessing I'm probably going to need to make sure that I have all of the paints I'm using ready for me off to the side here, so I don't have to reach or pause what I'm doing. Right, where is this dude? Hello? There we go. Okay. I'm still learning to face backwards, left and right. You know how it is on camera. So let's just get a little Gilliman flesh. Let's get a little more Gilliman flesh and just splat that on. And hopefully that is visible on screen. Okay. This is one where I'm going to have to sort of relearn where I hold everything, because where I've got my camera normally, I can quite clearly see whether or not it's going to show up on camera. So in this case, God, he looks pale on camera. He doesn't, he's not that pale in reality. This might be, first thing I've got to figure out is better lighting. So a little bit of Gilliman flesh, and I quite like using this over Wraithbone as a sort of a primer. So come back with a skin tone over the top of this. And home test being picked up later. Oh, goodness me. And an operation next Wednesday. Oh, good luck on that one, man. That's not something I'd wish on anybody at the moment. All of the hassle and kerfuffle around hospitals right now. My mum, she's been lucky enough. She was in hospital for, a little over a year now. And she's been lucky enough to get out of hospital and into one of those little assisted living, what do you call them? Apartments where you don't have to worry about anybody else. So, that's a bit tricky at present. Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm liking the lighting. Hopefully, because I'm sitting technically to the right-hand side of the camera, I'm really hoping that you guys aren't getting me all out of one ear If I could tell it to stream in mono, that would probably be a little more useful. Yeah, let's rinse my brush off. The other thing I'm going to have to figure out is drying. Because, ordinarily when I'm doing a video, I dry off screen and I edit those bits. So with the magic of television, you don't have to spend 30 minutes waiting for an Agrax Earthshade to dry. I'm going to have to figure that out. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to turn on another light. Wow, that that does nothing. Because I really want to improve the color here. It doesn't really look quite that washed out in reality, so I'm hoping a bit of light. Artisan Designs, Wild West. Yes, this fella's from one of the Gunslinger range. I forget which pack. But these are fantastic miniatures. I really love the Artisan stuff. One of the cool things about Artisan Designs is they are part of the North Star sort of collection. So if you're looking at Frostgrave miniatures, like I have been recently, or Rangers of Shadow Deep, anything like that, as well as the Cobblestone castings, Crusader miniatures, they're all from North Star. So, you can go through all of those different ranges and just pay postage once if you order from a bunch of different storefronts, which is quite nice. Hope all are well. Hey, Underdog! And hey, Alan! Everybody say thank you, Alan. Here's our man. Yeah, I have to look quite far over my shoulder to get to the chat, so I'm going to have to fool around with that a little bit more. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. I am currently surrounded by an absolute bloody salad, cable salad, as the Germans would say. Let's just see if I can turn that light up a bit. Does that make that look any different? Not especially. Well, a lot of gaming reprobates joining in. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh. Okay, you guys won't get why I'm sounding so bewildered. One of these ring lights I got, it's a selfie cam ring light. So you can see the depth I've gone to set this all up for you. But it has a color setting which changes between sort of a warm, cool white, a slightly warm yellow, and then sort of a daylight. And that actually looks a lot more close to how it does in reality. So that's quite interesting. Trying to figure out the difference between what I'm seeing in front of me and what the camera is showing you guys. Doing that on the fly, that's going to be a lot of fun. One of my mates used to work for GW in the States as an area manager, right into Wild West. Yeah, Western stuff is cool, One of the neat things, and I know Alan is going to kick me over this, but getting into Rangers of Shadow Deep, as I have recently, God, can I figure out where to hold that? There we go. Rangers lets you use pretty much any miniatures you want. So if you're looking at using Lord of the Rings models, for Rangers and stuff like that, there's nothing stopping you from using Wild West guys with clubs and swords and 6-shooters. I'm sure there's got to be a way to make that work. Okay. Shut up and paint the damn thing. Grim! Dude! Hey, buddy! Oh, shit, I'm really glad to see that face. Well, icon, so to speak. You know what I mean. Yeah, shut up and paint the damn thing. Let's carry on with that. I think I want to fiddle a little with the position on this. Because I'm still not quite sure. Yeah, that'll do. All right. Let's get my favorite of the contrast colors. I've got a Garros Dunes here. Maybe I want to position this. Should I put that like that? I see everybody's got their things like that. And that seems to make a lot of sense versus holding it upwards and sideways and all that carry on. Twitter banned me. Yeah, I saw your bloody account disappear. What a lot of shit. Yeah, I'm live. I can swear now. I'm rowdy. No, I want to try and keep it, family friendly. Though what you kids would be doing up at this hour, depending what bloody side of the planet you're on, who knows? Let's jam this bad boy. Garros Dunes seems like a pretty good color for his coat. We're not going to push the boat out terribly far here. Ugh, that isn't. Ugh. Oh, my brush was wet when I got that out of the pot. Oh, bugger. That's all right. We can just slap this on, and then we'll use that as a base coat for something else later. But important, as always, when you're using contrast, finish the area that you're doing. Otherwise, it'll look gross, and you'll get tide marks. So quick. Not looking at the chat. I love yous all, but let's get this gunk on. Yeah. So this is all quite interesting. I never really thought that I would end up going down the route of doing streaming. And again, if you weren't here at the beginning, I sort of mentioned that I do edit the videos quite stringently. So getting the chance to go live, you guys aren't going to be able to see a thing there, are you? Yeah, getting the chance to go live means I've got to think on the fly a bit more, and that's challenging. Oh, bloody hell, I missed a whole part of his sleeve. Just looking, quickly at the chat, it seems like you guys can hear me just fine. I was a little worried about, sound quality, because this is quite a cheap camera, because I'm tight-fisted, and any money that goes on a camera isn't going on toy soldiers, and we can't have that. Yeah, that should dry into something usable. Okay. All right, so hello from Australia, mate. Hello, Paul. Morning from us on this side of the channel. I don't know which side of the channel. Color rendering index LEDs when I want to do a fancy photo. Still use incandescent. Yeah, that's what I've been using for my setup, is two lights sort of either side of where I'm sitting. Pain in the ass, that, to be honest, because it gets so bloody hot. But this LED ring behind you, you can't see it. But yeah, that's cool. Grims, I don't know if that's a threat. I'll give you all the man love. I am a sexy man beast. I'll take that. Compliment where it's due. I am gorgeous. Yeah, I think we're on to a winner with this. Hello from morning from near Cheltenham. Hey, Cheltenham's my old haunt. I used to live in Cheltenham. Used to work in Cheltenham, actually. You might, if you were there about 10 years ago, you might remember me from Cheltenham Games Workshop. Hello from Minnesota. Hello, Christian. Robin Bracey, French side. Hello, Robin. Ismail. I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to pronounce Björkmo. Well, you're coming through. Hell Jumper evening from Canberra. Hello, Hell Jumper. Yeah, you guys just joining in. I didn't intend for this to go on quite as long as it has done. As an impromptu sort of just go live and do some painting, test complete, that worked out pretty well. Ismail, close enough on the pronunciation, I guess. Yeah, I always feel really bad when folks that have got, now I say this as a native English speaker, folks that have unusual looking names, I struggle. I so want to pronounce people's names correctly because it's important to me, Looking good, all contrast. Yeah, at the moment, this is just Gilliman Fresh. You see why I edit my videos. Gilliman Flesh and a Garros Dunes on his jacket. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead recently, so kind of stealing sort of basic look that and Arthur Morgan starts out with. Underdog's starting to make how-to videos. Quality's getting better. Big inspiration, Sonic. Oh, thank you. That's really cool. I think my channel in particular is kind of the acid test that you don't have to have an amazing setup. You don't have to have high production values. Just do it. Have some fun. You know, if you've got something that you want to share with folks, put it out there. Get started, and you know it'll work, or it won't. Who knows? You'll find out. Right. I'm actually at a bit of a loss now. I've sort of figured everything that I want to. I'll tell you what I'm going to need is a hairdryer. One of those little dealies that I can just pop under the desk here and quickly buzz that off, because waiting for shades and contrast to dry is really going to slow down streaming. Alan asking, hey, when are you going to paint those Sneeple? Ordinarily, right? You'll know by now I like to keep a positive spin on things. But these snake people are the ugliest miniatures I have ever had to put together. They're awful. I do not like them at all. And Alan finds it a highly entertaining form of torture to remind me that he sent me these Sneeple, these snake people, and I should paint them. And I should. He's quite right. But I would just as soon stick my hand into a blender. There is a nice Arthur Morgan STL. Ooh, I've got to find that. Contrast is such a great tool. Yeah, as that's drying, particularly on the back there, these little puddles on the back of his jacket are tightening up a bit, and that looks better than I thought it was going to. I still think I had maybe a little too much on my brush there, but this is just going to be something to go on the table and play some games with. Ismail suggests have a couple of miniatures to switch between if you use a lot of contrast shades. That's actually not a bad idea. Dennis, here's one I've done earlier. That's probably going to be how I have to approach this in the future. Have 2 or 3 miniatures, maybe similar sort of themes. So, yeah, that would be cool. I'm about to start my scale modeling channel in Swedish. There isn't really on YouTube any tips. Honestly, I've seen a lot of folks getting started. I would suggest if you've got someone that you know or is interested in the same sort of stuff, maybe on Twitter maybe, or local Facebook groups, make your video and show it to them. Pop it on YouTube, but don't list it straight away. Keep it unlisted, and send folks the link so you can get a bit of feedback on what you're doing. I know there's quite a big German-speaking hobby side of YouTube, so that's cool to see. Swedish, I honestly can't give any real advice on that one, except give it a shot and try getting some feedback from folks that it's intended for. All right, me duck from Nottingham. Hey, good old Nottingham. Fancy some Western gaming myself, says Gizmo. Might check out Dead Man's Hand. I've recently picked up the Chicago Way from Great Escape Games. That's their name. And as I understand, it's the same system as Dead Man's Hand. It's a yes and a no from me. It's very simple. It's a pretty cool system. Doesn't take a lot of time to sort of set up and get playing, but there's little playing cards everywhere, all over the table. And if it were something small, like a token, like you get in like Fantasy Flight games, for example, that wouldn't be such a big deal, but the system itself is quite simple. For Western stuff, I've actually been playing using the Legends of the Old West rules, which is from Warhammer Historical, while that was a thing. And of course, that's out of print. So if you were to find PDFs of that somewhere online, it's not difficult to find, and you're not really, taking money out of anybody's hands by grabbing this old out of print stuff. It's based on the Lord of the Rings rules, so it is arguably one of the best systems going. My wife and I played my lawmen versus her, what do you call them? Troublemakers, outlaws, and we had a great time. So very simple rule set to pick up. And yeah, just go find the PDFs. That's my recommendation on Western stuff. Don't forget to have a look at Perilous Tales, suggests Alan. I haven't even heard of that. I'm going to have to look that up. Hi from Devon. Hi, Arvid. The extension, there's going to be a set of rules coming out from Two Fat Lardies. What a cowboy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I am absolutely looking forward to What a Cowboy. What a Tanker is. I'll be honest with you guys. There was a time when I wasn't 100% sold on Two Fat Lardies and their naming conventions for things, because I was a little, I'll say, uptight. I was. And, the sort of the jokes and what have you that are in the writing for Two Fat Lardies, I turned my nose up at them. And I regret having done that because I've missed out for quite some time. What a Tanker, brilliant set of rules. I'm really looking forward to a point where I can actually play a game with somebody. Sharp Practice, I've got that book on the way. Chain of Command is a brilliant set of rules if you're looking at playing World War II skirmish stuff. I've probably got a model here. What have I got in Reach? You know what? We'll put him aside. We're not painting anymore. Let's have some fun. I've got... What have I got? You see the subject is dancing around a lot. Here's some old cool miniatures. I have here, these were the very first... Oh, there we go. Is that... I'm going to need some more light. Yeah. This fella was one of the very... Nope, that's not helping at all. Can I get that? So I'm learning, you see, where the test is valuable here. This fella here, he is from a set of the very first Anvil miniatures I purchased when I first moved to Germany. So he's about 5 years old. This is the Fatigues, Arms and Legs, the Gothic Void torsos, and Medieval helmets. And he was a lot of fun. I do need to figure out, can I up the lighting here? Let's make that brighter. No, that's... Okay. Well, that's first thing we're going to have to fiddle with. Oh, bloody hell. Extremely professional here. That was my setup falling to pieces that you totally didn't see. There you go. Let's see if angling that works a little better. Is that brighter? Yes, that's better. Okay. Kickstarter, Arvid says, Kickstarter from Knuckle Duster Miniatures board game with chibi miniatures, but you can get it with proper. I'd have to check that out too. Okay, so that's quite cool. I've been loving the Anvil Digital Forge as well. Like you guys, you will know by now that I am a sucker for 3D prints. This was one of the characters from I think this was October, or was this a little earlier? You can go and find it on their website because they are not only selling the STLs, but they are now selling individual prints of 3D characters that they've designed. So he's quite cool. I'm probably going to see what I can do about using him for Stargrave when that comes out. Stingrex, by the power of editing. Oh, wait, we're on stream. Yeah. As I'm always saying, this is the stuff that you don't normally see. So this is going to be the benefit to tuning in when I do start streaming properly. Another Anvil. You see, this is probably quite telling. Another Anvil print that I've got is this, the biker. I was going to do him as a video and I printed one off first of all, and I put him up on the windowsill to dry, and then knocked him down when I opened the window. So here's his replacement, and that's a really cool miniature. Like, the other cool thing about Anvil stuff is that if you've got a 3D printer, theirs is the only... Wait, no, I'm telling a lie. Anvil Industry and the Maker's Cult are the only two providers of STL files that do pre-supported prints, which have never failed on my machine. So that's that's the highest praise I can give. You know, you can just jam it in your machine and get printing. What other random stuff have I got lurking around here? Like, it is embarrassing how much Anvil stuff I can just reach out and grab from my chair. I've got... Oh, I was experimenting. Here's one thing. He might be a little difficult to see, jokes aside. Painting camouflage at 15mm scale. Yeah, I'm really going to need to tweak the lighting on this, aren't I? But this is one of the British infantry from Battlefront. He's for Team Yankee. And I was, just having a play around and seeing whether or not it would be possible to get a camo effect without having to painstakingly paint, DPM material. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that result, even if you can't see it. Hey from Worcester, loving the channel. Hope you and yours are keeping safe. Yes, Mitch, thank you. My family were lucky it wasn't just me. We all got clear tests, and we're kind of doing what we can to stay out of trouble at the moment. Ismail asks, what machine do you have? I have, lurking over here, if I move a couple of things, I have an Elegoo Mars. The Mars, there is the Mars 2 and the Mars Probe and all that have come out since. But I've kept with my Mars. They're expensive little machines, really. You don't want to just replace them every time the new one comes out. But I've had some really good results with my Mars. It's a great little beast. I'm wondering if I position this. Woohoo! Yeah, I think that looks a little better. Okay, just another captain. Oh, hey, dude. Good morning, sir. I would love a tour of your workbench. Okay. Since I've got a camera right in front of me and we are live, let's go ahead. Let's tour the bench. Excuse my mess. So, this is where I sit. This is my position. I'm going to have to fiddle with the bloody... there we go. Focus. There we go. Okay. So this is the bench from my position. I've got racks of Instar, Army Painter, some more Army Painter, and some other bits and pieces. Most of my Vallejo stuff. Oh, look, it's more Army Painter. This little space here, you normally see this much. And you can probably get a feel for why. Like, look at all the cack that I... People say, what mess you've seen mine. Goodness me. I feel really bad because this is tidier than it usually is. Not by much. Oh, look. There's all my Citadel paints. Yeah. My printer, my Ender 3 lurking there. And I'm not going to show you any further off to the side because it's an absolute bloody dump at the minute. So let's put you back there. Yeah, that is a whistle-stop tour of my setup. Now, I've changed the focus on this now, so this is going to... Oh, yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Hi from the cold hellscape that is Sweden. Hey, look at that. There's another Swedish fan out there. So the fellow, I wish I could remember, the fellow who was saying earlier about doing Swedish hobby content, look at that. There's somebody else just here. Seb, 11 or 12 years ago, you helped me paint my Crimson Fists. Oh, cool. Last year, I painted several thousand points of Iron Hands. Hell yeah. Iron Hands. I have been for Iron Hands for years. Alan, if you're still on the channel, you'll back me up on this. Iron Hands are everything that is cool about Space Marines plus robot, and that's that's rad. I used your Warrior of Minas Tirith tutorial to get me back into painting. That's really cool to hear, Ben. Love that. Christian, you should maybe have another light up where those Citadel paints are lurking. That is not a bad idea, actually. If I can get something coming in from this angle, yeah, that might make that. Yeah, that is not. I thought I had that all sorted out, and now it's getting dark outside, and it's, yeah, got to rethink this. Right. Well, I think as far as a test goes, this was intended. I was going to jump online for about 5 minutes and just see whether or not this would work, and it's turned into a half hour of chatting away with you folks, which is lovely, by the way. I was not expecting to see so many people turn up, so that's kind of cool. It's quite reassuring for when I actually do this properly. Let's have a look. Following the trend, I've been painting some Astra Militarum with your tutorial. Yes, more guard in the world, always a good thing. I use the Salamanders guide. Hell yes. Salamanders, also very cool. I am biased. Like, there is a 90% or so chance that if I've done a video on how to paint something, it's because I think it's cool. So if you're out there saying, oh, I'm using your video for such and such a thing, that's awesome. That's really encouraging. Flesh Terrors are my favorite chapter. Hell yeah, Gizmo. Ghost Ripper, hey Sonic. Hello, Ghost Ripper. Alan asked, did you ever get on with those Northmen I sent you? Short answer, Alan, yes. I've been quietly assembling a few things, and 2021 is going to be the year of unusual miniatures. So we're going to step out. We're going to do the Northmen from, where are they from? Fireforge Games. You're going to see some more War Games Atlantic. I really want to take the opportunity to highlight some of the lesser known miniatures producers out there that are probably doing something that you would really like. I think there is a real risk when there's so many things available online that it's easy to get lost in the noise. And I appreciate, of course, the irony of me here making noise. But there you have it. I think if you're here on this channel, you've probably got interests fairly similar to mine, or broadening as mine are. As I get older, I'm always looking for something different. So yeah, we'll see what I can find in the future, which I can bring to your attention. Will you do any more Napoleonic? Yes, as a matter of fact. I have got some Russians, some Austrians, and there is a third that I want to do, and it has gone completely out of my head. But yes, Napoleonic stuff. What's his name? I've completely lost my mind for a second there. Nordic Weasel Games. That's the sausage. There is a beta set of rules for 5 kilometers from Leipzig up at the moment, and that's small, skirmish-based Napoleonic stuff. And because I like to paint, I'm a hobby butterfly. I'm always painting something different. Yeah, that's ideal for me because I can paint, excuse me, I can paint 6 miniatures and start playing. So that's me. But yes, I'm going to do some more Napoleonic stuff. Do you think you'll ever do Gorgon Terminators? Excuse me, I cannot stop bloody coughing at the moment. Short answer on sort of Forge World stuff is probably not. Forge World's resin is expensive, and once I've painted it, I don't have a use for it. I would like to be able to do more things for display, like for my own collection at home, but I can't justify spending 60 to 70 pounds on a set of miniatures that I'm going to paint one for the channel, and then I have no use for the rest. So as much as I'd like to be able to say, yes, I will do XYZ, It's not always likely. It's possible that I can demonstrate some things on a similar miniature. So painting Iron Hands Terminators using, the plastic kits, it's much of a much. Those techniques will work on plastic, metal, resin, it doesn't matter. Getting late early. Have a good day, man. See you, Christian. Sleep well if that's what you're off to do. Dennis asks, what about some Frostgrave Beasts? Yes, probably soon. I'm looking at stuff to use for Rangers of Shadow Deep, and wouldn't you know it, but the Frostgrave and Oathmark lines have a lot of stuff that's really useful there. So monsters and Gribblies and wolves and stuff like that, you can see some stuff. Septimus says, Noel painting guide was timed. Interestingly, just got hands on Rangers of Shadow Deep. Yes. I've had it for ages, and I've only just started reading it, and I feel like a fool for not having got into it earlier. Excuse me. I have to tell you that I really enjoy your bolt action tutorials. Those are why I left Flames of War and started with bolt action. That's really cool. Personally, Flames of War is this really cool idea that never quite plays the way that I would like it to. The miniatures are fantastic. Like Battlefront's plastics and most of their metals are probably some of my favorite mass production 15 millimeter World War II stuff out there. But the rules themselves just don't do it for me. Whereas bolt action and chain of command, I really like 28 millimeter scale stuff. So smaller action games with bigger miniatures, I like it because you can spend more time painting something that'll look a bit more impressive. Alan says, I told Rangers of Shadow Deep was good. Yes, I know. You were absolutely right, and I am a fool to have left it this long. Bad Fish, greetings. Great to hear you have more in store for 2021. Yes, Happy New Year. Oh, yeah. Happy New Year, one and all. Hopefully, this is going to be a slightly more promising year than last was. Like I said, I know that the changing of a year doesn't necessarily get rid of all of the problems that we're having, but for me, the clock ticking over kind of marks that, well, I survived that one, so let's see what we can do with the next year. Now this, I'm trying to get the right, there we go, there's me positioning. This is one of the fantasy football miniatures from Exit 23. I mentioned them because they've spotted me for some of the lights and the camera equipment, so I mention them all the time, but they did also send me some of their miniatures, and they're really cool. The downside is, as I mentioned quite regularly, I don't always have a use for certain things. But this figure here, with Stargrave coming along, and other games like 5 Parsecs from Home being small skirmish sci-fi stuff, I reckon if I slap a las pistol or similar on her hip there, she goes from fantasy football figure to looking kind of like something from the Outer Worlds. Really neat model. I do feel a little bad I haven't had a use for it for a while, but looking forward to doing something with this. And this is what I mean about showing off some of the smaller producers and the unlikely miniatures, because just because I don't play fantasy football games, Blood Bowl, I want to love Blood Bowl, but I am so bad at it. I am crap at Blood Bowl. But that doesn't mean this miniature doesn't have a use if I am a little creative with what to do with it. Swedish History Nerd, I think that Flames of War miniatures look good, but I have a hard time making highlights. Yeah, too little or too much. I have done a guide on 15mm Soviets, which might be helpful. And I am planning on I've actually got a couple of orders coming from Ground Zero Games and Ralpatha, which are a couple of names which I think one or two of you in the chat might be going, ooh, at. I've got some 15mm sci-fi stuff on the way and looking forward to doing that. So you'll see more small scale and unusual stuff on the channel. It's just, there's my arm. Hooray! Bolt action in 15 millimeters works well. Yes, I absolutely agree. Bolt action in 15 millimeter. There is one of the Battlefront. He is, what is he? English Rifle Company is the set that he comes from. Now this was experimenting with, this was experimenting with, where the hell did I put it? Aha, right. Warlord and the Army Painter have teamed up. I really hope, because what I'm looking at on the screen is Histurb Surdletab. I really hope that's his British battle dress for you guys. But this was sprayed brown, then British battle dress over the top of the uniform. I gave it an Agrax Earthshade and then highlighted with British battle dress again. That is a 15 millimeter figure done. Not a lot of work, one color for all of his uniform. This is kind of similar. If you're looking at comparisons, English uniform from Vallejo with a little bit of Iraqi sand mixed in. That's pretty much what that is like. I've got a few more of Warlord's rapid deployment paints on the way, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. I wasn't sure about one and done as far as colors go, but it actually turned out quite well. So British battle dress, new favorite color. Put that away. What else have I got? Lauren. Oh, that's Lauren. Again, I really hope I'm getting people's names right. What are your favorite Games Workshop metallics? Iron Hand Steel and Iron Warriors are my favorites at the moment. Iron Hand Steel it goes on beautifully, and depending on how you shade it, it works for everything. Gizmo's Wargaming. Ground Zero Games are the nicest 15mm sci-fi I've ever seen. Beautiful, clean sculpts. See, I told you somebody would be here who'd recognize that name. I've got some of the New Swabian League Panzer Grenadiers, and I've got some of their Colonial Militia on the way. So quite looking forward to that. I read Purple Monkey Washing Machine. Well, unfortunately, there's not a color for that. I want to thank you for the Forge World wash recipe. Yeah, that one. What was that? Mark Bedford's Marine Juice. This stuff, I'm really looking forward. I want to give White Scars a try. See if it's possible to speed paint White Scars in the Forge World method. This stuff, it turns out, is similar but slightly reddish compared to Agrax Earthshade, which makes it work really well for a lot of things. This is 1 part non-oil, 1 part Reichland Flesh Shade, and then 1 part Lamian Medium. Mark Bedford suggests a little bit of water in there, but I've gotten better results by not using water. So that's turned out to be quite a handy little tool. I've got my pot of Allie's Brown liquid there too. I need to label these things, I'll tell you what. 2 blisters of old metal Strelkovi platoons. Yes. Central Man's been using Allie's Brown liquid, I guess, on all of the War of the Roses figures. I'm delighted that so many people have found this useful. Allie's Brown liquid, go check out the video for this one if you haven't already, because it's got the recipe in there. This has been really useful for my 15mm stuff I've been doing. So here is another, this is, get my big fat thumb out of the way. This is a 15mm print from the March to Hell Kickstarter. I believe the miniatures for this are actually available for purchase now. But he was base colors, Ellie's Brown liquid, then base colors again. That's come out really well, that Japanese trooper. Yeah. So I'm going to call it there because we're up to 44, almost 45 minutes on a test. So You guys are actually being massively helpful, letting me know that there is there's interest in this, and that you'd like to, you see the notification pop up and you're in here. So that's cool. I'm probably going to aim to do these fairly late if you are UK or European time zone, so that sort of around 7 or 8 o'clock, so that folks on both sides of the Atlantic will be able to see it. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome. Awesome channel. Thank you, Ipkiss. Just paint what you have. Yeah, I've got a lot of that. Paint what you have is unfortunately, man, you ought to see the backlog. But do it at a civilized time. Yeah, this is lunchtime for me, which is part of the reason I want to go off and get something to eat. Thanks. Have a good day. Yeah, I'll call it there. Thank you very much, one and all, for joining in, just to stop in and say hi. Hopefully, as always, something that was interesting. Really want to do these 15mm camo guides. That's one that's going to come fairly soon. Yeah, I'm going to go get something to eat. You guys take care of yourselves. And as I always say, enjoy the rest of your day. Now, let's see if I can end the stream. There we go. And yeah, your stream will stop immediately. Yeah, it will. Ha-ha.